All right, so ever get that feeling like construction projects are stuck in like a time warp?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Where things just move at a snail's pace compared to, well, pretty much every other industry.
Yeah.
Like we're still operating with blueprints and, I don't know, carrier pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? There's a tech revolution happening in the construction world, and it's all about harnessing the power of data.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like we're finally catching up, right?
Exactly. And we're not just talking spreadsheets and those rolled up blueprints covered in coffee stains.
Right.
We're talking drones, folks, soaring over construction sites, capturing every little detail in incredible detail.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The amount of data that these drones are collecting now is just, it's mind-blowing. I mean, we're talking high-resolution images that can, like, spot a crack in the concrete from, like, a football field away.
Wow.
3D models, so detailed. It's like you're walking through the actual
No
building.
kidding.
And terrain measurements. Oh, man. Surveyors, they dream about this kind of precision.
So we've gone from like squinting at these faded blueprints
Mm-hmm.
to basically having X-ray vision on the entire job site.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, all this talk about data, it makes my head spin a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, how do we even begin to make sense of this mountain of information? It's overwhelming.
Well, that's where data analysis software really comes in. It's like having a, I don't know, a super-powered assistant. You know,
Okay.
it sifts through all that data, all that noise, and pulls out the insights that actually matter, the stuff that's going to make a difference.
So not just making things a little bit more efficient.
No, no, we're talking potentially shaving weeks off a project timeline,
Wow.
saving potentially thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in costly rework.
Okay, now you're talking my language. Time is money, especially in construction. But I'm going to be honest with you. Data analysis software, it sounds a little intimidating. Could you give us an example, like a real-world scenario of how this actually plays out on a construction site?
Yeah, absolutely. So imagine this. You're putting in a new drainage system, right? So instead of waiting days for a surveyor to go out there with their, their tools and everything, process all the measurements, maybe miss a subtle elevation change, the drone, it captures the data instantly. The software flags a potential problem right there in real time.
Oh, wow.
You can spot the issue before a single pipe is even laid. I mean, you're preventing a domino effect of delays, budget blowouts, all that bad stuff.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Proactive problem solving at its best. It's like having a crystal ball that helps you anticipate those costly construction hiccups before they even happen. So this isn't just some far-off futuristic fantasy. This is happening right now.
Right, absolutely. This is the present, and it's rapidly becoming the industry standard. Companies like Drone Deploy, they're leading the charge.
Okay.
They offer these really comprehensive solutions that are being used on projects of all sizes. I mean, from small residential renovations to massive, infrastructure projects.
So we're not just talking about fancy tech for the sake of it. We're talking tangible benefits that actually impact, the bottom line.
Yeah.
But let's break it down. What are the specific advantages? What's got everyone so excited about this software?
Well, for one, it integrates seamlessly with the tools that you're probably already using, like take building information modeling or BIM, for example.
Right,
It's essentially like a digital twin of the entire project.
right.
And when you feed it this real-time data from drones, it's like you're bridging the gap between that digital design and the actual physical reality of the construction site.
So no more like going back and forth or with outdated reports or like, those grainy photos from the field.
Exactly.
Everyone's on the same page, working from the same constantly updated source of truth. And I can see how that would be a game changer, especially in today's world where so much collaboration happens remotely, right?
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of clarity, we can't forget about the power of visualization, right? This software doesn't just spit out like raw numbers and spreadsheets. It takes all that data and turns it into interactive 3D models, dashboards that you can customize whatever you need.
Okay, cool.
So this means that everyone involved, from the architects to the investors, they can actually grasp what's going on, the project's progress, the potential challenges, even if they don't know the first thing about construction.
They're like taking these technical blueprints and translating them into a language everyone can understand.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got integration, we've got visualization. What else makes this software so groundbreaking?
Well, this is where it gets really cool, the automation.
Okay.
Imagine algorithms, right? That can analyze a construction site with like superhuman speed and accuracy. We're
Sure.
talking about detecting like the tiniest discrepancies, tracking progress across huge areas, even predicting potential risks. And it's all done with a level of precision that frankly, humans just can't match.
So we're not just talking about making things look pretty or like simplifying the data.
Yeah.
We're talking about using automation to like supercharge the entire construction process, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that level of precision, it's not just, a cool feature. It has a real impact on the bottom line. I mean, think about it. Even small errors in construction, they can snowball into these huge delays and expensive rework.
Oh, yeah.
But with drone data and these really sophisticated algorithms, we're moving from like estimation and guesswork to verifiable certainty,
Right.
which is especially important for those projects with really tight tolerances, complex geometries, where even, a tiny deviation can throw everything off.
It's like the difference between, I don't know, eyeballing a measurement and using a laser level.
Exact.
You're not just hoping for the best, you're getting that pinpoint accuracy every step of the way. And speaking of accuracy, let's talk about the companies that are really leading this drone data revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Drone Deploy, but who else should we have on our radar?
Well, the drone data analysis world, it's really booming right now, and each company is kind of carving out its own niche.
Okay.
For example, if you're looking to turn those super high-resolution drone images into, like, crazy detailed 3D models, you got to check out Pix4D.
Okay, Pix4D.
They're known for their expertise in photogrammetry, which basically means they can take, like, hundreds, even thousands of overlapping images and stitch them together to create these incredibly accurate 3D representations of a construction site.
So if you need to see every nook and cranny, every angle, Pix4D is the go-to. But what about when you need that, rock-solid survey data, like the kind of data that you would, bet the farm on?
For that level of precision and reliability, you can't beat Propeller Arrow.
Okay.
They've really focused on making these super accurate and user-friendly cloud-based solutions for site surveying. So their platform just takes all the complexity out of processing and analyzing that geospatial data, and it gives you the insights you need to make, those confident decisions quickly and efficiently.
All right, so we've got these all-rounders like Drone Deploy, the 3D modeling experts like Pix4D, and then the survey specialists, Propeller Arrow. It's like assembling a dream team of data analysis for construction, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Are there any other major players that we should know about?
Oh, absolutely. If you're looking for a company that can handle like the entire drone operation from start to finish, Kesbury is definitely worth a look.
Okay.
They offer this fully automated solution, so they take care of everything, from collecting the data with their own specialized drones to processing and analyzing it all through their cloud-based platform.
Interesting.
So it can be a huge time saver, especially for companies that are just, starting to dip their toes into the drone world.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really trying to make it easy for companies to adopt this technology. But what about those mega projects, the kind that make headlines?
Right.
Are there companies that are specifically equipped to handle that kind of scale and complexity?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about those massive infrastructure projects, those sprawling urban developments.
Okay.
Right. The kind where even the smallest mistake could have, like, huge consequences. For that, you want a company like Skycatch on your side.
Good.
They specialize in providing that super high-precision data analysis for those really demanding construction projects. We're talking about delivering those absolutely mission-critical insights that keep these incredibly complex projects on track, on budget, and, out of the headlines for the wrong reasons.
So it sounds like we've got, a solid roster of companies all bringing their A game to the construction site.
Yeah.
But now here's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Do you outsource this expertise, right? Or do you build a team in-house?
Yeah.
That could be a tough decision for a lot of companies that are, trying to navigate this new world.
It's a classic buyer-build dilemma, and there's no, like, one-size-fits-all answer. It really comes down to, carefully looking at your own specific needs, your resources, and your long-term strategy.
Right.
So let's break it down, shall we? Starting with, like, the advantages of outsourcing.
All right, let's do it. So when does it make sense to call in the experts?
Well, the great thing about outsourcing is flexibility.
Okay.
If you only need drone data analysis, like, every once in a while for specific projects, it doesn't really make sense to, like, go all in and build up a whole in-house operation,
Right, right.
You're essentially tapping into a team, a pre-existing team of experts without the added cost of having to purchase all of the equipment, license the software, train your own team, all that stuff.
So kind of like renting a really high-powered tool for a specific job.
Yeah.
Instead of, buying the whole workshop.
Yeah, exactly.
But like any rental agreement, I'm sure there's got to be, another side to that coin.
Hmm.
What are some of the drawbacks, the potential downsides to outsourcing this type of work?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The biggest trade-off is control.
Okay.
You're kind of at the mercy of the provider schedule, right? Their quality standards, even, how well they communicate. And that can be a real challenge, especially for those projects with tight deadlines or, where data security is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, let's not forget about the costs. They can really start to add up if you need drone services all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like anything else. Renting is great for the short term, but at some point, it just makes more financial sense to, you know, bite the bullet and own it.
Right. So if outsourcing is like renting the tools,
Mm-hmm.
then building that in-house team, that's like setting up your own, state-of-the-art workshop.
Exactly, yeah. You've got all the equipment, the expertise, all right there at your fingertips.
Can I imagine having that level of control?
Right.
It extends to the data itself, right?
Yep, absolutely.
No more worrying about, sensitive project details getting lost in the cloud or, ending up in the wrong hands.
Exactly. Data security is a huge deal for a lot of companies, especially in construction, right? I mean, you're dealing with proprietary designs, cost estimates, all sorts of confidential stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Building an in-house team, it just gives you that peace of mind, knowing that you're the only one who's controlling that data, from the moment it's captured by the drone to, when it's archived.
Okay, so in-house means more control, more customization, better data security. It sounds like a no-brainer,
Mm-hmm.
but I know it can't be that simple, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the downsides that we need to be aware of before we go out and, buy a whole fleet of drones?
Well, the big one is the initial investment.
Okay.
Building a really good in-house drone team, it takes a significant amount of money up front.
Yeah.
It's not just about buying a couple of drones and calling it a day.
Right.
You're investing in high-quality sensors, powerful processing hardware, software licenses, training programs. You might even need to hire new people with the right skills.
Right.
It's a long-term commitment. You got to plan carefully, budget realistically,
Mhm.
and have a clear idea of how drones are going to become a core part of what you do.
And I imagine that keeping up with this technology, it's almost a full-time job in itself, right?
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. It feels like there's new drones, sensors, software updates coming out every other week.
Right.
And that's another big thing to think about. Drone technology, especially on the software side, is evolving incredibly fast.
Yeah.
What's cutting edge today might be obsolete in a year or two.
Right.
So building an in-house team, it means you're committing to this constant cycle of training, upgrades, staying ahead of the curve.
It's not a one-and-done kind of deal.
No, it's this ongoing process of learning, adapting, and constantly pushing the limits of what's possible.
So how does a company, standing at this crossroads, how do they decide which path is right for them? Things like you come to a fork in the road. Both paths, they lead to these really cool places, but they require different approaches, different levels of, commitment.
It really boils down to being honest with yourself about your needs, your budget, and your long-term goals.
Mm.
Like, if you can envision drones and all this data they collect, if you can see that becoming a central part of your work, if you really need that high level of control and customization, and you're willing to invest the money upfront, and you're ready to commit for the long haul, then building that in-house team might be the best way to go.
Okay.
But, if you only need drone data here and there, if flexibility is what you need most, and you'd rather just, work with the experts and avoid those big upfront costs, then outsourcing could be the smarter move.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer here. It's really about finding what fits your situation.
That's great advice. The important thing is that, now you've got the knowledge to weigh those options, ask the right questions, and make a smart decision right.
Exactly.
We've gone from this age-old problem of construction delays to this future where drones and data analysis software are totally changing the game, right?
Yeah.
Making projects smarter, faster, safer, more efficient.
Absolutely. And it's not even just about the tech itself. It's about the people who are, really pushing the limits, coming up with these creative ways to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing amazing innovations in how this data is being used, from making job sites safer for workers to, reducing the environmental impact of construction.
That's amazing.
It's a really exciting time to be a part of this field.
It really is. And for our listeners out there who might be thinking, well, this is all really cool, but I don't even own a hard hat,
Yeah.
Don't underestimate how this technology is going to impact everything.
I agree.
This isn't just about skyscrapers and bridges. It's about the future of how we design, build, and manage the world around us.
Exactly. And the advances we're seeing in drone data analysis, they're going to have a ripple effect way beyond construction sites.
Wow.
Think about it. Urban planning, environmental monitoring, disaster relief, precision agriculture. The possibilities are practically endless.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what's next for this technology? What does the future hold for drone data analysis? I mean, are we ready for, like, flying robots calling all the shots on the job site?
Well, I don't think we'll be handing the blueprints over to AI overlords just yet, but I'll tell you what, the potential of combining AI and drone data, it's incredibly exciting.
Right.
We're on the cusp of this whole new era where AI can look at this data in real time, spot patterns that we might miss, make predictions that optimize everything, and help us, make smarter decisions overall.
Wow. AI-powered construction sites. That sounds like something straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
But, on a serious note, a big thanks to you for taking us on this journey.
My pleasure.
You've given us a lot to think about, and I have a feeling this is really just the beginning.
I think so too.
This drone data revolution is just taken off.
For sure. For sure. And for everyone listening, keep your eyes on the skies because the future of construction and maybe even the world is taking flight.
I love it. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me.